culture is changing while technology is accelerating at a really fast pace. And I think just storytellers really need to adapt and experiment the same way that kind of cinema started 100 years ago. So as they develop a new camera, that was kind of back in the day, now they're developing new projection technologies, new spatial audio environments, and it's more tools for storytellers to reimagine spaces, especially now that experience is a form of entertainment.
One of the larger topics that we think about in the Institute for Sound and Music is the empowerment of shared direct experience. And so a lot of that has to do with how can we make use of these technologies that are available to us without isolating people. And so the Hexadome represents a way to demonstrate that. And so using Panasonic Connect technology, it's interesting because the title itself really underscores what it is that we're trying to do with our creative content.
The Hexadome is really a choose your own destiny story. As we walk through this, we see different people really capturing different experiences. It sort of directs you to different screens at different moments, but there are times where you have to make a decision on which screen you're going to concentrate on, which area you're going to be looking in.
It's always been about connecting different technologies and different people. So the beginning of this came from understanding the Hexadome structure that they've created that is really the pinnacle of spatial sound and projection. Starting to understand how the sound relates to each screen, how to storytell through sound design, how to guide the audience to look around the different screens just by, tapping light from behind them or having sound from behind them. And then the opportunity came up with Tribeca Film Festival that we're looking for interesting work to showcase Robert De Niro's career throughout the decades. And we said, hey, why don't we take all of his films and turn it into something new and original, but also an experience, an immersive, something that you can really walk around and feel.
What better way to really pay tribute to De Niro than something like this? And I think the multi-screen experience, because he's so multifaceted, really represents him very well.
You're watching New York and you're watching Robert De Niro in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, and 2000s, and over almost 50 years of a human being age, of a city change through culture, of a human being interact with the city, and take two films that were made 40 years apart. And in one of them, he's a boxer, and in one of them, he's a coach to the boxer. And he can interact with himself 40 years apart, and that scene makes sense from a narrative standpoint.
In order for these experiences to happen, we really need a mobilization of several different parts. And a lot of that has to do with the content creation, the design of these kinds of formats, also the intrepid nature of artists and creators to be willing to create content for these kinds of experiences. This would not be possible without the support from Panasonic Connect to bring in this quality of projector into an installation like this.
So the Panasonic Connect projectors just give us control to be able to change color, to be able to change vividness, to be able to adapt the installation to a particular space and lighting conditions and retain the integrity of the way the films were originally intended and really make them punch alongside the sound system.
Going into this, I think we all thought that the older films were gonna have this really grainy effect, and like it could have been a film from today. Or the clarity ended up being even higher quality than we thought it would be.
The DLP projection system that we have here does represent the colors very accurately. It doesn't overstate or oversaturate type of color output and really maintains the integrity that the director chose to display.
Our hope is that this is the beginning of what could possibly be expanded upon in terms of what a shared immersive experience means to people, not only in New York, but wherever else we can bring this technology.
Our customers and partners rely on us to push the limits of technology. At the same time, we rely on them to push the applications. These partners and customers are in the business of creating one-of-a-kind experiences with an emphasis on storytelling. The Hexadome and the content here created by Little Cinema is a perfect representation of that.